Joker, one of, if not the most controversial film of 2019, is a sad and twisted roller coaster ride through mental illness, and a look at how society itself can give birth to such a danger under the right circumstances. Going into the Joker, I thought I had a relatively good idea of what to expect, a disturbed and misunderstood loner that dreams of righting the wrongs thrown upon him by society, kind of like a modern take of Taxi Driver. And while technically we do get just that, but at the same time, so much more. Joker takes psychological thrillers to a whole new level. It's far darker and more twisted than I could ever had imagined. And it loves to constantly play with your emotions like it's some plaything. Throughout Joker, you'll feel sympathy, sorrow, pity, disgust, shock, and most of all, you'll feel discomfort. Yeah, a lot of discomfort. But that's the point of the movie, making you witness certain scenarios and situations to which you'd never think you'd see on the big screen, but yet here we are. Now with that said, Joker is surprisingly really good despite all the darkness around it. The way it's shot, the amazing score, and the complex themes it explores all make it a top-tier film. But of course, most of it is all thanks to the masterful performance of Joaquin Phoenix, who plays Arthur Fleck, aka the Joker. Fleck is a misunderstood and mentally sick individual from the get-go, with a lot of misfortune being thrown his way that he didn't ask for and is powerless against. Throughout all of this, we see his slow descent into becoming the Joker, and it's painful to watch, but as the audience, we begin to understand why this happens. Do we agree with the choices he makes? No, we don't, but we see from his perspective on why he makes them. And what I found so interesting about the Joker is how basically every single scene in the movie focuses on Phoenix's Arthur Fleck. Seriously, he's in every single scene. There's like no scene that doesn't have Phoenix in it. In most movies, this would not work, but here it does because whenever Phoenix is on, then your eyes are glued to the screen. He's literally just that good, and most scenes he doesn't even have to say a word. Instead, his body language, human emotions, and the depravity of the scene do all the talking, and it just works. The support and side characters are really more so used as props or tools for Fleck's eventual transition to the Joker, which I didn't think I'd like at first, but ended up changing my mind entirely on it afterwards. This is because the movie forces you to see the world through the eyes of Fleck, and as a result, it just makes his actions and their consequences that the more powerful. As for Phoenix's portrayal of the Joker character, we don't really see it until the latter half of the movie where his transformation is complete, and I gotta say, I dig it. It's of course a more grounded in reality depiction of the Joker, but still just as twisted and dark in its own way, which I liked a lot, as Phoenix doesn't try to copy any of the Jokers from the past, but instead be original and do his own thing. If I had to rank him, then I'd say Phoenix's Joker is the next best live-action Joker next to Heath Ledger's, whose performance was also equally as legendary. But in comparison, Phoenix's Joker is a bit more cartoony, such as his laughter and his running. Oh yeah, especially his running. That's one thing I never really see anyone mention, but whenever Phoenix runs in this movie, and he does so a lot, then he does the perfect Joker run. It's exactly the type of run you'd expect from the Joker. I don't know how to explain it, but it looks goofy but menacing at the same time. It's a really small thing, but I absolutely adored it. And yes, while this movie is based on DC comic book material, I wouldn't call this a superhero or comic book movie per se. Far from it. While it uses familiar characters, names, and locations from the comics, the Joker is a very different beast. And believe me, it's rated R for a reason, so don't think that bringing little Timmy to see this because it's a Batman movie is a good idea, because it definitely isn't, and if anything may mentally harm young children. And I'm only saying this because some parent had the audacity to bring their 5-year-old to watch this at my screening, which is just mind-blowing and beyond me on how he didn't leave with the kid after the first act. But I'm sure that won't be the only careless parent out there this weekend. As for flaws in the movie, I honestly can't say there are much. Granted, there were some parts initially that happened that I didn't like or thought were completely unbelievable. However, the movie then pulled a complete 180 and I loved every single twist it put out. Again, like I said before, the Joker loves to play with your emotions, and it's certainly the case here. And well, because of that, I changed my mind on almost every single thing I initially didn't like, to where now I really can't think of any huge flaws that would impact the movie in the long run. Maybe some scenes here and there going for a little bit too long, but that's a small nitpick at best. Overall, the Joker is a fascinating depiction of a broken man becoming irredeemable. Yes, it's horrifying to watch at times, but also extremely captivating thanks to the outstanding acting, cinematography, soundtrack, and the real-life issues it presents that we often try to avoid in our lives. Just like Taxi Driver, Joker captures an aspect of the human condition that haunts us more than ever today. But that's my take on the Joker. I hope you found it enjoyable and informative. And if you saw the movie, do let me know in the comments down below if you liked it, hated it, or were somewhere in between, as I'm always interested to hear what you all have to say. As always, I'll see you guys on the next one.